Look around you. Nothing is random. Have you ever watched lightning branch across the sky and felt something inside you spark in response? Not as light, but as recognition, as memory, as intelligence. What if the universe isn't just out there? What if it's inside you, and the same fingerprint that carved the galaxies is carved into your bones, your breath, your DNA? The curl of a newborn's hair, the twist of a hurricane, the unfurling of a fern, the path of a galaxy 200 million light years away, all repeating the same impossible pattern, like a hidden signature that creation keeps leaving behind again and again and again until we finally notice. We call it coincidence. But what if coincidence is just a word we invented to avoid admitting the truth? What if the universe is conscious and the pattern is the proof? Everywhere you turn, the universe repeats itself. The curl of a wave mirrors the curl of your DNA. A storm's rotation follows the same ratio as the unfolding of a fern. From the spiral arms of Andromeda to the whorls on your fingertips, one geometry threads through everything, as if creation keeps signing its name. We call it coincidence, symmetry, mathematics. But beneath those words lies a pulse, a consciousness folding in on itself to understand what it is. It expands, it contracts, it spins, always balancing between chaos and order. That motion is the Creator's handwriting written in light. And here's the part most people miss. You are not separate from it. You're not standing beneath the stars looking up. You are the stars looking inward. Every heartbeat you've ever felt is an echo of the cosmic rhythm that began before time. A vibration that found form and then asked, what can I become next? We think of the divine as distant, some vast intelligence scattered across galaxies, unreachable. But the truth is closer. It's in the tiny arcs of your fingerprints, in the electricity that dances between neurons when you imagine beauty, in the breath that turns silence into sound. The pattern isn't just around you. It's inside you, remembering itself through every thought, every gesture, every act of creation. When you paint, when you write, when you love, you're not copying the Creator's design, you're continuing it. Look closely enough at anything, a raindrop, a pine cone, the iris of an eye, and the infinite reveals itself again and again. Because truth doesn't need to invent new symbols, it only needs to remind you that the same code has always been there. So tonight, I want to ask you a question. If the entire universe carries the Creator's fingerprint, why do you still doubt that you were made in the same image? This is where the journey begins, from the vastness of galaxies to the heartbeat in your chest, from the macrocosm to the microcosm. A map written in light, leading you home to what you've always been, a living fragment of the divine pattern. When astronomers first mapped the heavens, they thought they were cataloging chaos, a scattering of stars, random and infinite. But the deeper they looked, the more they saw order. Galaxies spiraling with mathematical grace, planets tracing ellipses that whisper precision, light bending along invisible threads that look uncannily like design. There is a ratio that keeps repeating, 1.618, the golden mean. It appears in the swirl of hurricanes, the pattern of sunflower seeds, the proportion of your own bones. Ancient architects carved it into temples, believing the number itself carried divinity. Modern physics agrees. Nature is not guessing. It is calculating beauty with impossible accuracy. Every spiral is an echo of expansion. Every orbit, a memory of creation learning to balance gravity and freedom. When stars are born, they don't simply ignite. They remember a formula older than time. Hydrogen and heat weaving themselves into harmony. Stand beneath a night sky long enough, and you begin to feel it. The subtle rhythm behind the silence. The universe breathing. Galaxies turning like colossal wheels in meditation. Each one a mandala of fire, each one a symbol of the same intelligence that once breathed life into dust. This is the cosmic blueprint, not a plan drawn by hands, but a living equation repeating itself across every scale of being. Atoms mimic solar systems, cells mimic galaxies. The macro and the micro are mirrors, reflecting the same geometry of becoming. Sacred geometry called this the flower of life. Modern science calls it fractal self-similarity. Both are saying the same thing. Everything that exists is the universe trying to remember its own face. And perhaps that is what the ancients knew, that creation was never a single event. It is a continuous act of resonance, a song so vast we only ever hear one note of it at a time. Yet every heartbeat, every spiral of DNA adds another note back into the symphony. You were never placed in the universe. You were woven as part of its pattern. The golden ratio runs through you the way blood runs through veins. When you breathe with awareness, the same mathematics moves through your chest as moves through galaxies. When you create, you realign with the blueprint that made everything possible. Look up at the night sky again and realize it isn't above you. It's a reflection of what's inside you, magnified to cosmic scale. If the galaxies are the Creator's handwriting stretched across the night, then the cells of your body are the same signature written in miniature. Beneath a microscope, the ordinary becomes holy. A single snowflake forms a cathedral of symmetry. The branching of a lung mirrors the branching of a river delta. The helix of your DNA spirals with the same mathematics that turns hurricanes and galaxies. It's as though the universe took its largest canvas, folded it inward 1,000 times, and whispered, "Here, let me hide infinity inside you." At the molecular level, life speaks the same geometry as stars. Atoms orbit a nucleus just as planets circle a sun. Neurons fire in constellations. Their electrical patterns look uncannily like maps of the cosmic web. Every thought you think is a galaxy flickering into being, a burst of light across the dark matter of your mind. This is the micromirror, a reflection of the cosmos so intimate that every heartbeat becomes a drumbeat of creation. You are not a smaller version of the universe. You are its precise continuation in another scale. Sacred texts hinted at this long before microscopes existed. Made in the image never meant flesh and bone. It meant pattern and pulse. A fingerprint of the same intelligence spiraling through both nebulae and neurons. So when you place your hand against your heart and feel its rhythm, you are touching the same motion that turns the Milky Way. Your body is not separate from that vastness. It is the universe learning to speak in first person. The ancient mystics called this correspondence as above, so below, as within, so without. Modern physics calls it fractal symmetry, but both are simply names for one revelation. That creation repeats itself because it's trying to remember what wholeness feels like. Look closer still, at the whorls of your fingerprint, at the way blood vessels branch, at the tiny vortices in your eyes' irises. Every curve, every line is a message. You were never apart from the design. You are the microcosm that mirrors the macrocosm, the living bridge between the seen and unseen. And when you begin to recognize the pattern in yourself, you begin to remember that you have always been part of the great symmetry, the universe looking back at itself through human eyes. Somewhere between the macro and the micro, between galaxies and genes, the universe built a bridge and called it human. You are the meeting point of opposites, stardust and breath, matter and awareness. Every cell of your body remembers the cosmos, yet every thought has the power to redesign it. You are not simply observing creation. You are the mechanism through which creation observes itself. Look at the structure of the human brain. Its web of neurons glows like a map of galaxies. Both are networks of light connected by invisible currents. Each spark of thought mirrors a birth of stars, each memory another constellation forming in consciousness. When you think, you don't just process information. You participate in cosmic architecture. Every emotion you feel radiates as energy, a signal traveling through the lattice that binds all things. When you love, the field expands. When you fear, it contracts. Collectively, these oscillations sculpt reality itself. Humanity is not a passenger in the universe's story. It's a co-author writing from within the page. The heart is the translator between scales. Physically, it beats. Energetically, it harmonizes. Its electromagnetic field extends meters beyond the body, entraining the rhythms of those around it. In every heartbeat, the macro hears from the micro, the universe receiving feedback from its own reflection. This is why consciousness matters. The more self-aware you become, the clearer the dialogue. When you act without awareness, the bridge flickers. Your frequency becomes noise in the grand design. But when you move with intention, when thought, word, and deed align, you stabilize the connection between heaven and earth. You become the circuitry through which creation upgrades itself, Perhaps this is what the ancients meant by divine responsibility. To be human is not to dominate the world, but to fine-tune it through awareness, to carry the wisdom of stars into the tenderness of skin. When you realize that your smallest choice ripples through galaxies, compassion stops being a virtue. It becomes physics. Kindness is not moral decoration. It is structural alignment. Each act of empathy refines the signal that travels across dimensions. Every time you forgive, the bridge strengthens. Every time you lie or judge, it trembles. So when you look at your hands, know that they were sculpted for more than survival. They are the Creator's own tools, instruments designed to shape reality with intention. Through them, the infinite learns what love feels like in human form. You are not here to escape the material world. You are here to sanctify it, to turn matter back into meaning, to be the bridge where heaven learns to breathe through earth. Creation never repeats itself exactly. It evolves through variation. That's why no two snowflakes are identical. No two voices carry the same timbre. No two lives unfold in precisely the same rhythm. The Creator's fingerprint isn't a single imprint. It's an algorithm of becoming. Choice is how the infinite experiments with itself. Every decision you make, what to love, what to fear, what to create, what to release, branches the pattern into new geometry. It's as if the universe hands you a brush and whispers, "Here, continue the design." Look closely at the veins of a leaf, the branching of rivers, the way lightning forks across the sky. Each follows the same fractal law of expansion, a single line splitting into infinite possibilities. Your life does the same. Every choice you make is a fork of light, a new expression of the original pattern, each divergence still carrying the signature of its source. This is the paradox of freedom. You were given the power to alter the pattern, but never to step outside it. Even when you make mistakes, the geometry adjusts, turning detours into new symmetries of meaning. The pattern wants variation, for it learns through diversity the full range of its own reflection. When you act from love, the frequency of your choice harmonizes with the universal rhythm. When you act from fear, the pattern distorts. But even distortion becomes information, a feedback loop guiding consciousness back toward coherence. There are no wasted decisions, only different expressions of awakening. In this way, free will is not rebellion against the divine. It is participation in divine creation. You are the Creator's curiosity, the place where infinite potential becomes experience. Each thought is a small universe turning itself inside out, each heartbeat a choice between expansion and contraction. Imagine every human on Earth as a single node of light on an immense cosmic web. Each decision sends ripples through the network, some brightening, some dimming, all contributing to the collective picture. From a distance, those ripples form the evolving shape of humanity's soul. The Creator doesn't dictate it. The Creator feels it through us. This is why awareness matters. When you choose with consciousness, you sculpt the fractal deliberately. When you choose unconsciously, the pattern becomes noisy, chaotic, forgetful. But even chaos has its beauty, for it compels the soul to remember order. Perhaps that is what enlightenment really means. To see the pattern not as something you must obey, but as something you are helping to design. Every life is a sacred experiment in geometry, and every choice is a brushstroke of the divine. So ask yourself, if your decisions were visible as light, what would your pattern look like today? Would it spiral gracefully outward, or fold back in on itself, waiting to be set free? The universe is listening for your next note, and whatever you choose, it will become part of the music. There comes a point in every journey of creation where the pattern forgets itself. It stretches so far from its original source, so deep into experience and shadow, that it begins to believe it is alone. That's where humanity stands now. A divine design suffering from amnesia. We've built towers of knowledge, machines that map galaxies, formulas that define matter, yet we've misplaced the one truth that makes it all make sense. That the blueprint behind it all is alive, and it's still breathing through us. The forgetting wasn't failure. It was part of the experiment. Because how could consciousness know its own light unless it walked through darkness? How could truth be cherished if it had never been lost? But the cycle is turning. All around the world, people are waking up to patterns they can finally feel again. In the rhythm of their breath, in the geometry of sound, in the synchronicities that defy logic. It's as if the universe is whispering through numbers, colors, and symbols. Remember me. The body remembers first. The heartbeat syncing with the pulse of the earth, the nervous system aligning with lunar tides, the eyes recognizing sacred ratios in petals and shells. Then the mind follows, translating sensation into understanding. The soul, meanwhile, simply smiles, because it never forgot. Recognition isn't learning something new. It's remembering what has always been true. You are not discovering the pattern, you are rejoining it. When awareness re-enters the equation, coherence begins to spread again. From person to person, from heart to heart, a web of light, knitting the human field back into harmony. The more you remember, the clearer your perception becomes. Life stops looking random. The so-called coincidences reveal choreography. The chaos begins to shimmer with hidden symmetry. You start to see the same fingerprint everywhere, in the way a stranger's kindness arrives at the perfect moment, in the rhythm of rain on your window, in the way grief eventually shapes itself into wisdom. When you remember the pattern, you stop fearing change, because you recognize that every transformation is just the design shifting to show you a different angle of itself. This is the return to recognition, the moment when the mirror no longer separates the reflection from the reflected. When you look at the world and finally see yourself woven through everything that exists, and when enough of us remember, the collective field realigns. The same way a flock of birds turns midair without a leader, without hesitation, one impulse rippling through all at once. That impulse is recognition. That is what awakening feels like. There is a moment, quiet and golden, when remembering turns into embodiment. It's the instant you stop searching for signs in the stars and realize the light you were chasing has always been shining through your own eyes. The Creator never hid its signature in temples or constellations. It placed it in heartbeat and breath, in the warmth between two hands meeting, in the laughter that dissolves pain. You were never meant to worship the pattern. You were meant to become conscious of your place within it. When you breathe in rhythm with the world, you participate in its geometry. When you speak truth, you stabilize its symmetry. When you love without condition, you generate the same coherence that binds galaxies together. Every act of awareness is the universe tightening its weave. Look around you now. Nothing is separate. The wind tracing the trees is the same current that moves the blood through your veins. The photon traveling from a distant star arrives here as thought, as inspiration, as hope. You are not living in creation, you are creation continuing. This is the revelation the mystics tried to describe, that enlightenment isn't a staircase upward, it's a widening outward. A recognition that every grain of sand and every soul is part of the same luminous equation. When you finally see it, fear loses its coordinates. You understand that death is only transformation, that endings are the pattern folding itself into new beginnings. Nothing is wasted, nothing is outside the design. So stand still for a moment. Feel the pulse beneath your skin. That rhythm is the oldest prayer there is, the universe remembering itself through you. And when you act from that knowing, life rearranges around your coherence. You become a tuning fork for reality, a point of order inside the noise, a steady tone that invites everything near it to align. This is the true meaning of divinity, not distance, but participation. The Creator does not watch from above. The Creator breathes through your lungs, dreams through your imagination, loves through your hands. And this is what the Valkyrie remembers, that the fingerprint of the divine was never carved in stone or written in scripture. It lives in motion, in the courage to live as light, in the choice to see the sacred in the ordinary, in the vow to carry truth like fire through darkness. This has been Valkyrie. Thank you for stopping by. Until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe.